Welcome everyone to the show. Welcome all the way from around the whole world, UK, from Asia, from Africa, from America. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Pitch Point in collaboration with True City Fan TV. And today we have a show to talk about the Chelsea game yesterday, but also talk about what's going on right now in January, the whole saga around striker, no striker, Haaland, no Haaland, Vlahovic, Felix, Kane, and whoever else that we've been linked with. But we'll start off with introductions. Welcome, Adam, to the show. Adam, how are you, man?
I'm all right. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Good.
I see you change your avatar to one young blonde guy from Norway.
Yeah, I thought it's a special occasion, so I thought I might change it up.
Michael, how are you, man? Welcome.
I'm doing good. I'm here to hear everybody's opinion. You know, I learn different perspective. You know, when you gather like this, you see a different angle that you don't see when you really sit and think about football or Manchester City on your own. So
I love Michael because Michael and I have this sparring discussion on WhatsApp about Edison.
He's my goalkeeper and I love him. But listen, but he's in good form recently. He's in excellent form. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to you, he does have his weaknesses, right, in terms of shot stopping.
Yeah.
So let's be fair. He does have that. But it's a trade-off, right? I mean, you want the ball playing or you want the shot stopping. It's a question. And of course, Adi, welcome back, bro. Good to see you.
It's good to be here again. Good to be here. Good to see you guys.
So Adi and I, way back in July or was it June, August, have this running battle with a lot of our friends who are Chelsea fans. And we said that we know that you guys are European champions. We get that. We know you guys are, cup specialists. You guys know how to win cups and one-off games. But we believe truly that the two teams that will dominate the league this year will be Liverpool and City. We said without a striker, with no striker, whatever it is, we believe that the way Klopp and Guardiola have lifted the standards of the Premier League, we think those two will end up dominating. Right now, if you look at the table, I think it's the two of them, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if they win the game in hand, it's now 8 points. 8 points is nothing with what says 16 games to play against a Liverpool side. Frankly, it's still catchable, especially if we don't win our games through. But we are where we are right now. And yesterday's game, guys, was a knockout punch, in my opinion, to Chelsea Football Club. Adam, what do you think? Let's go around the table. Adam, Mike, and then come to Adi.
I think yesterday's game was more of a draw would have been great for us, but that Chelsea had to win that match if they had any hopes of somehow coming back or even challenging for the title. That game was more of a must-win for them than for us.
Absolutely. Mike and Adi, when you saw the lineup for both Chelsea and both Man City, how are your vibes? How did you feel? I mean, we know we've always said, it's probably going to screw this up again. Is it overthinking this? When you saw the Chelsea and the City lineup, what were you guys thinking? Let's go with Mike and come to Adi.
Well, I never thought Lukaku was going to start. I thought he was going to bench him and go for more, not a target man, because if he have a target man, that means Lukaku going to be out the game and he's going to be relying on the next 9 players, including the keeper, make 10. So when I saw that, I was like, this can be us. This going to be us. And the only surprise in our lineup was Diaz out. That's it. And I think Laporte and Stones did a good job. But otherwise from that, I thought when I saw Lukaku on the pitch, I was like, we gonna win this. And then I saw Kepa in goal. I'm like, oh Jesus, this is like 4, but we only scored 1. So it was okay. I never think anything out the box. Just that I thought we was gonna win.
Were you surprised that Jorginho didn't start in that game?
No,
Michael,
because I know I never expected him to start. I was looking for Kante and Kovacic, as in Kante going to protect the back four and Kovacic going to try to make that forward passes. So I never expected Jorginho because he going to be susceptible to the mistake and the high press that we're going to apply. But with that, I just never thought Lukaku was going to start. And I thought Pulisic was going to be more of a threat to our backline. It didn't. On the day, we was just better than them. They never came like they wanted to win. They never showed no desire to win to me. They was just waiting on some opportunities, a loose ball that we might give away. But otherwise, from that, we had the game in control from start to finish.
Ade, coming to you, the little twist. You and I have this thing about when it comes out. You always tell me to chill. And I likewise do the same to you sometimes, like chill. Can I help? We have to stabilize each other.
Yeah.
Well, except for the Champions League final, I always said, "Damn, this guy's overthought this thing, man." But
yeah.
So you saw no Diaz there. What? I have my own coaching view on why it happened. What do you think Pep was doing with that? Well, what message was he sending? What do you think was happening with no Diaz?
I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea. Because he's our best defender. He's arguably the best center back in the world. So for you not to go without your best center back in the world, it means you've gone over with the team technical details on why you're going with Stones and Laporte. He must have really gone over it with the team for him to go out with that. It's not something he just said, "Oh, I'm trying to trick them again." No, there must have been some detail, which is part of the overthinking, because if it didn't work out, guess what everyone would be saying? Why is a healthy Diaz sitting on the bench? And we would all have to guess as to why he was doing it. And we would only be guessing because he's never going to come out and tell you, "Well, I was thinking X, Y, and Z," which he had to do for the Champions League when he went without a DM and he lost. So he didn't lose, so he doesn't have to explain it. But it worked out because I always thought Stones was strong. The person I was more afraid of was Laporte, making those silly mistakes, which he had a couple of mistakes in this game. He had a couple of mistakes in this game where he could have cost us. Where that play with Lukaku, if you look at the space they left between himself and the ball, the through ball to Lukaku, that was a little bit of Laporte there. So it worked out. I don't know why he did it. I mean, I hope people tell us, but I doubt it. But it worked out. So hey.
I think you make some very valid points there, because if it didn't work out, we'd say he overthought it again. And a couple of things I saw, talked to some people about the potential reasons why he did so. One was because we knew that City was going to have the ball, and Laporte and Stones are really the two best ball-playing centre-backs, not defensive centre-back, but they can actually play the ball. One left side dominant, one right side dominant. It's easy to pass the ball. And there was a time when Laporte messed up, and Pep told the guy with his hands, he did this, right? Which means that get the ball, switch the play left and right. That's one reason somebody gave. The other reason another person gave was that maybe Laporte has got to what they call the red line in terms of the number of minutes he's played for the past, 6 or 8 months. He's almost played every single game. So they always monitor these guys. They have that tracker, that GPS tracker. They look at their blood samples. Maybe he's got to that red line, and we don't want to risk him for the games that are coming up in Europe.
I see.
Yeah,
That's the same thing I was saying.
Yeah, and then the third reason was that the fact that what was the reason again? It was red line. He was switching the ball play was because of COVID. That if you don't give Stones and Laporte game time, and God forbid Diaz, who hasn't caught COVID yet, gets COVID, and you have Liverpool in Champions League quarterfinal, and those guys haven't got game time, they have no rhythm. And so Pep will sometimes keep players on for 60, 90 minutes and not change them because he wants to give players rhythm. So when we have an outage, COVID or injury, somebody else comes in, they're still within that same level. That's another reason that they gave for perhaps what he was thinking about. But we have to trust the man, right? I'm serious. We just have to trust him.
Hey, look, we won. So that's all. We can't really say anything else. If we lost, we would have a lot to talk about today. But we didn't. So, we just accept that. That's the magic of Pep. You win some.
We got a few guys on the chat. We have Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Hi, Carl. Says hi, Carl. Yeah, hi, Charlie. Patrick is also online. He can't join us today, but he's also a good evening, guys. Patrick says, reports say see the meeting with Haaland, his father, and the agent. We'll talk about that on 23rd. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just talk about some key moments. So the key moments of the game. Adam, come to you. what were some key moments you saw in the game, good and bad, that we could have? Pick one that you noticed in the game, good and bad, between City and Chelsea yesterday. Adam, then Mike, and then let's go to Adi.
For me, the good points were that the way that we controlled the midfield. That's what I realized about yesterday's game. That the way that we controlled the midfield it was great. I thought maybe that Chelsea's midfield would try and out pressure our midfield and try like singling out Rodri and try targeting him to like nullify our movement. So, and I thought maybe that would probably what they would do, but they didn't. And the other one is that he's good, but sometimes he has a mistake in him. It's like his concentration, his concentration is like not that great. Sometimes
Absolutely.
he's not as like say what John Stone was, and John Stone it took him a while to get to where he is now. So with Laporte, I feel like the lack of game that he had is one of the main reasons to why he has that lack of concentration. But him playing more games will possibly help him into improving his concentration and becoming like say like a Ruben Diaz or a John Stones.
Yeah, well said, well said. Mike, what were some moments in the game that you thought were really good for City and were kind of questionable for us as well?
Well, overall, I think on the defensive side, I think the guys came out, turned up, and controlled the game at the back. I think Walker is very key to what we do defensively at Manchester City. Cancelo is really good at what we do going forward. Laporte and Stones. Stones surprised me yesterday. I got to be honest. He looked good, looked sharp. The boy was a beast. He had Lukaku around his waist. He showed strength. He was a class. And Rodri looked good. But on the other hand, going forward, I thought for me in the first 20 minutes, I thought Grealish was bad. But after the first 20, 30 minutes, going straight until the rest of the game, I thought Grealish came in. He was much better Grealish than all the Grealish we know in the previous games. And for Raheem Sterling, I thought Raheem Sterling did a good shift, especially in the first half. I think after the 60 minutes, 70 minutes, he got exhausted and he was just there moving the ball and out and about. But otherwise from that, I think we won it, in midfield, and we won it with a brilliant moment by Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's above and a cut above the rest in the league, in the Premier League. And I say that, and this is one of the reasons why I say we were talking in the WhatsApp about Salah. To me, Kevin De Bruyne is a cut above everybody else in the Premier League, okay? Because of the position he plays and the stuff he do. And I say that because he's not fully fit, but he can do moments like that. You know what I mean? And he's not at his best, and that's why I think he's the best. And but otherwise from that, it was a good game. City controlled the game, positional play. Everything was good. Man marking, breaking up counter-attack, breaking up plays, the high press. It was ridiculous. They tried to play it. I saw them playing well from the back, and they looked good in the moment, but we were all over them. Yeah, it was a good game. Like
coming to Ade, the weird thing about Ade about that game was that the game was won by City in transition. It's really weird, right? Because normally Chelsea are the one who kind of transition, right? But the game for us was won when we won the ball back, when Chelsea were higher up the field. Cancelo got the ball, passed it to Kevin. Kevin did that body on Kante. Kante fell to the ground, was big. And what's what Kevin gives us, right? Kevin gives us lack of control sometimes, but those transition moments, Adi.
Yeah, I mean that's why he's brilliant. I think the way we played. Hey, shout out to True City fan. I'm seeing your. I know we can't go through all the comments, but I see your comments as you're making them. But I think the way we played was aided by what Chelsea didn't do. They didn't press, which shocked me. I was like, why are these three guys like every time we had the ball in the back, they just stood off. Like Lukaku, you will see him, he will want to run, and then I think he'll remember what the manager said, and he just kind of backed off. So it was him, Pulisic, and Ziyech just standing there. So it gave our full center backs time to say, okay, will try to find the guy in the middle. And you saw Kante and Kovacic closing up, trying to stick close to I think it was De Bruyne, Bernardo in the midfield. But every time they would take away those options, he went to Sterling one time, a long ball to Sterling. But the way we controlled that game, it all had to do with Chelsea not doing what I thought they would do. Like, I didn't think they would be as defensive still. They did that before and it didn't work, and they did it again. And I'm like, you're not going to beat City by sitting back. That's not going to work. I know you're scared to go forward. You don't have your regular fullbacks that you need, and so you're kind of hesitant to try something new. But I think they played soft. They didn't look good. They didn't look good that game. So for me, that game, I'm never scared of Chelsea. Like, I don't worry about them at all. I worry more about Liverpool. So when I saw that game, when I saw how they were playing us, not pressing, I was like, we're going to have a field day. They're going to play defensive, which is harder to break down. But in the end, that moment always comes. He did it against them. Remember that one game where he scored that one super goal from outside the box? Kevin did the same thing. So it's like I knew that brilliant moment would either come from Foden, which I was surprised. I didn't really see a lot of Foden in this game, but I think that has more to do with what Chelsea was doing defensively.
Yeah.
Because you can give them credit. They played a defensively solid game. And
I'll explain, I'll explain why later on what Foden's role was, which is I studied it again. I'll explain why, but sorry, carry on. I don't want to forget that note that you just mentioned.
Okay, no problem. But I think Chelsea played a really good defensive game. If that was their game plan, they did a very good job, because if they didn't misplace some of their passes that they had and Lukaku converted on that chance, we could be talking about a whole different thing. It could be 1-1 because they were solid defensively, but they didn't come out to play football. They came out to play defense, which is weird to me.
Adam, come, I'm going to open up the floor now to you guys talk about this. So there are a couple of things I noticed, Adam, and was, when I saw Grealish instead of Jesus, I thought about, well, Pep wants to control this game. Because what Grealish gives us, right, and Mike has said earlier on, gives us a level of control. He doesn't lose the ball. He may not be quick, he may not score as many goals, but he doesn't lose the ball. He can drop back, he can go wide, he can come. He doesn't lose the ball.
And when he does lose it, he gets you a foul or a free kick or even a penalty in some cases.
Correct.
Right. And then for Foden, he was playing as a false nine, but if you notice, what he was doing was really just pressing the keeper. It was basically what they call creating a cover shadow to press the keeper, so the keeper would hurry up and pass the ball. We win the ball back again. That was his job, which is why he kind of was anonymous, because every time he would go forward, he wouldn't get the ball, but he was forcing Kepa and Rudiger.
Forcing the error.
Yeah. Which this Guardiola guy. I'm sorry, I really respect a lot of Premier League clubs, and this guy's on a different level, man. I mean,
different level. And in the other WhatsApp group with Kenton and all of them, they just look at the names, but they're not looking at the tactical side of the game. Pep is a tactical guy, and you got to analyze the game from a tactical perspective. Why Grealish playing? Foden should be left, and this Pep know what he doing. He know what he doing to target certain moments in the game that would give us an end result of City getting the goals and dominating the game. And he got a positional play for each player and a positional role for each player. But I like talking to y'all, because y'all see what I'm seeing. You know what
I mean, Adam, I want to come to you, Adam. I want to talk about one of my favorite passes in the whole game. Joao Cancelo's pass outside the boat around to find that space. I mean, who does
Grealish,
man? I mean, seriously, who does
what that man has, it's just speechless sometimes. Some of the crosses that Cancelo puts in, you think to yourself, and even if it's not a player getting it, you think to yourself, just the delivery that he offers, with a striker that's lethal, you think, that's just a recipe for to just destroy everybody.
It just, and this is a guy who, I mean, Benjamin Mendy is gone. I mean, literally gone with all the stuff that's going on with him. But even if he wasn't gone, we know that Cancelo has defensive issues. We know that, right? And it's a trade-off between both. And Adi and I talk about this a lot, right? But offensively, man, I mean, who's better? Robertson's not better than this guy, the way he plays. I mean, it's the balance between Walker and Cancelo left and right, the covering, the speed, and then the ingenuity of the passing on the left-hand side. Just a fantastic game. It was a complete control. And Chelsea, the European champions, had one shot in 3 hours. One shot. And I'm not trying to take the making out of them.
I gotta laugh.
Mike, I have some good friends who are Chelsea fans, and I understand that yes, they're a great team. In a cup competition, they are very dangerous. They can take it from you again. They're a great cup team. They're designed to be a cup team. And we said it in June or July. They are but in terms of the league, 38 games, it's very hard to go 4 competitions playing the 3-4-3. It is extreme. When Conte won it, Conte was only probably in the Premier. He had no Champions League, he had no Europa League.
Yeah,
it's easier to win it when you don't have the distractions. But to go to World Club Cup, to go to Champions League, to go to Premier League, to go to FA Cup, to go to Carabao Cup, when you get injuries, the system breaks down. You have to have players who are interchangeable across the whole field, in my opinion, to dominate the Premier League. I mean, people talk about Sir Alex Ferguson, right? You know, United are shit. That's what they say. United are shit. Oh, Tottenham are crap. Oh, Arsenal are terrible. Oh, Chelsea are not going well. You know, I looked at the data and the reality is that under Sir Alex Ferguson's years, they always won the league by 82 points, 75 points, 77 points. Only once they get to 90 points. It's 85, 86. And you look at the trajectory for like Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham, United, they're probably going to get to 82, 83, 85 points, which is enough to win you the Premier League back in the day.
Then
the problem now is Klopp and Guardiola. Because these guys are going to 95, 6 points. And how do you raise yourself to get to the level? It's not about money. United have money. It's not about players. Chelsea got players, more deeper bench than us. It's about the coaching.
Yep.
It's about those two guys raising the bar so high that it's so difficult to compete against guys. I'm open up the floor to you.
Yeah, I think the coaching is people always try to diminish his accolades by saying, oh, I think one stupid lady did one stupid TikTok one time talking about Guardiola is just money. He had money at Barcelona, he had money at blah blah blah. A lot of teams have money. I mean, City is not the only team with a billionaire. There are a lot of teams with billionaires. So it has to do with how Man City have decided. Don't get it wrong. Manchester United is still the most popular team in Manchester. It is because they have the history. But what those guys that own City have done is they've decided to invest in the team, starting from the academy, starting from the training facility, and they decided to bring in a world-class manager in addition to the money they have. So all those things combined together is what brings you success. And repeatedly going out there and winning trophies will get you a status that you've always wanted. Yes, the Champions League would be great if we can win it. I think we'll win it very soon. I don't know when it will be because Champions League is a different competition to win. You get a red card in a 2-leg game, and that's it. It's very hard, but I think we'll get it. So going back to Guardiola, the tactics, he sticks to his principles. He doesn't change. He doesn't, no matter what anyone says, and his voice is the loudest on the team. He doesn't have a star player like Ronaldo that's going to tell him what to do. You will sit on the bench. A Messi will sit on the bench. He will sit you down because he's like, I have to be the alpha of the team because that's the only way this works. If we have a bunch of alphas, it's not going to work because other players are going to start gravitating towards you. And so the fact that he's able to have his stamp on how he wants to play and he has ownership that is willing to back him every time he makes a decision. They backed him in the bad decision he made in the Champions League where he didn't play at DM, but at least he has their backing always. So I think that gives him the leeway to experiment and try things that we necessarily wouldn't accept or see, like the Diaz not playing. Like who ever thought that? None of us ever thought that.
Crazy, huh?
But
that's crazy.
He had. So I think that helps us a lot. So Chelsea have money too. They have a good coach. Yeah, I mean United have a lot of money. A lot of these teams have money. So the difference is Pep, but people would never want to give him that credit. And it's just one of those things that's always going to be.
Michael, I've said it time and time on the WhatsApp group on YouTube. I've said that nobody will love you more than you love yourself.
Oh yeah.
And I've said that it's time for City fans. I know it's our culture, the way we are brought up, the local fans. I know that there's a self-deprecating factor that makes us unique because those guys were there back when they were really terrible. They stay, and I appreciate that. I think it's part of the history. I think it's fantastic. But I also think that we shouldn't accept nonsense from some local fans about, or the league is boring because City are there, or you guys have all the money, when the facts clearly talk about the opposite, right? I saw a picture, Mike, the other day about squad depth between Liverpool, City, and Chelsea. And I was surprised that actually the team that has greater squad depth is Liverpool, followed by Chelsea, City with that. In fact, Adam and Mike, yesterday on the bench, everybody apart from Jesus, Gundogan, and Fernandinho were academy players. Mbete,
Very much, and the thing that you had is that you had Thomas Tuchel and Klopp saying that it's like City have not even got no COVID cases or no injuries. Come on, we've had COVID cases, but it is that majority of them were backroom staff, maybe few first team players. We've managed it correctly, how you're supposed to, not like what the other clubs have done.
Yeah. So, Micah, how do you approach this as a fan? I know that. How do you approach this as a fan? Are you frustrated as well, or you just say, it doesn't matter as long as we're winning? How do you approach this?
Frustrated with winning? Man, as long as my team is winning, listen, I relish the moment. Like every United fan, Chelsea fan, Liverpool fan, nobody want to talk to me right now. Okay, everybody back to my number. Like I'm waking them up in the morning. Hey, 13 points clear. Hey, 9 points clear. Like, no, I love this. I remember the days we're struggling, trying to compete with them, trying to progress in the Champions League. Come on, fam. I went to the Champions League final last season with no striker. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
That's crazy. Man.
Yeah. We winning. What boring. Everybody, like any neutral fan, loves Bayern Munich. Okay, any fan, if any fan who play likes the online FIFA goes online and they're gonna pick a team, they're gonna pick Bayern Munich or City, or they're gonna pick a good team. So Bayern Munich is not, it's a farmers league now because they're running away with it, but everybody still loves them. Like all the fans are happy. Why shouldn't we be happy? Like, why shouldn't
just to wrap up this segment before we go to the strikers discussion, it's this is what you get with disruption. And Nadia and I know about this. I mean, you guys know about it. Google came in, right? Before Google, who was there? There was really no one. The days of what's that store called, Hex or something. Amazon is taking over. Disruption causes problems. Yeah. And if you don't evolve, you don't change, you don't adapt, you don't look for new funding sources, you don't create a new statement, you will quickly die away. The cheese will move, and you're not a part of it. So I'm really happy that, it's not just City football. It's not just Man City. It's New York City FC. We have the privilege of watching the MLS, in America here. Yep. And for the first, is a club that doesn't have a stadium. They literally share a stadium with the Yankees, a baseball team. The Yankees baseball team have to convert the Yankee Stadium into a football stadium for them to play. You can see all the baseball stuff. They don't have a stadium yet. They won the MLS Cup. And they played some really good football. City don't have a striker. We don't have one. We haven't had one now for 2 years. And yet 13 points ahead without a number 9. It's if that's not coaching, I don't know.
I don't think the other teams, I don't think they, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like they don't put enough. I mean, Pep is he's a diehard. He's going to beat it into your head that this is what I want you to do. And as frustrated as we are with Grealish, I keep telling people, I remember, Carl, you're going to remember this. Remember how frustrated you were with Bernardo Silva? And you remember what I kept telling you? It's the same thing. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year. Most people get tired. Most people will trade a player in the Premier League if he is not producing, a star player, especially a $100 million guy. Look at all the flack Lukaku is getting. Pep is going to give Grealish time. And people expecting Grealish to come in and be this wonder kid in the first year, it's ridiculous. If you've gone through all the players we've had, Sané, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Rodri. The list goes on of
Cancelo.
players that have come. Cancelo have come in the first year, and it's not doesn't work that way. It doesn't
The
work.
only
Even
miracle,
Sterling,
the only miracle you could say that what has come straight
Diaz.
away and has worked is Diaz. Apart
Diaz.
from that,
I knew
each
that's
and
what you were going
every
to say, Adam. Diaz is
each
the only one
each
that came in from day one
yeah,
and was ready to go. But everybody else, it takes time, and it's probably
Even
because they are
Laporte came in.
attackers.
Yeah, even Laporte came in day one. It's easy as a defender, right? Because I mean,
Yes,
when you're in the final third of City is so complex. It's so complicated what you have to do in that final third. The movement between the front five is almost like an orchestra. I mean, it's when you. I mean, there was a game we watched. I think it was we played. I think it was the West Brom game away last season. Remember that game, the 5-0?
Yeah.
The movement of the front five was. I mean, it was like wow, poetry in motion. The movement, the
yeah,
rotation. That's
and
the
that's
final
why it
third.
takes time for
Takes
the
time.
attackers to adjust. Defending is easy. If you only know how to defend, you're good because that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
It's over time you start getting the sense of, oh, I need to go here when the pressure's here. I need to go here when the pressure's there. I need to step up. But it's kind of almost basic, and it's why it's sad, but defenders don't get a lot of recognition. You don't see a lot of defenders going for Ballon d'Or, and it's always attacking players. It's sad that the game's like that, but that's the way it is. The attackers have to know more than what
Mhm.
defenders do because they also have to be part of defense in addition to attacking. So I think Grealish, we got to give him time. He's gonna
I
come
agree.
through.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
he gonna.
so just wrap up the segment real quick. Let's go. Each of you, who was your man of the match, Adam, for yesterday?
for me it would be Raheem Sterling yesterday.
Mm, 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 Mike?
Kevin De Bruyne. All day, every day.
Adam, who was your man of the match?
Mine is tough. I think I'm going with Walker. Walker was my
Mm,
man of the match.
mm,
I look, you know me. I love defense. I love defense is so underrated. We don't give defense. What Walker is able to do, just that little thing. That remember when I text you where he was able to switch on real quick. Like there
yeah.
was a mistake, and basically the guy had no chance. He ran after him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm right here. Where you going? I'm right here. There's nowhere for you to go." Like I love the fact that I'm that comfortable with any mistake on Walker's side where he'll just recover and be like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I won't do that again." He'll do it again, and he'll just recover. So for me, that freedom of him defending like that is what enables the other guys to go forward. So it all builds up from the back. If you're not that comfortable with your defender doing that, you're going to be more cautious in what you're doing in front of him. But because you know, oh, that's Walker over there. He's gonna stop him. I'm good. I'll go. So I always pick Walker, but I'll probably go with Kevin De Bruyne if I'm being honest, though, because I mean he just controlled that whole midfield yesterday.
Patrick says his was Edison. That save, Mike. I mean, to be fair
That's
with
a
you,
really good save. Really good save.
That was a big save. That was a big save.
yeah. So hopefully, I think I go with Kevin as well. I think just because of the goal.
Yeah, it's because of the goal. Because you got to understand, Sterling played well, but what did he do? He ain't made an assist. He ain't scored no goal. So the fact that Kevin De Bruyne scores, he deserves it. You know, what I mean? I'm not
And plus,
playing on
Kevin was
Sterling. He didn't
also
have a,
Mike. Kevin was also all over the pitch. He was on the right
oh
side.
yeah,
He was on the left side. He was moving it. You remember Bernardo was doing some little one touch, two touch. So he was everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was. I thought it was a. I mean, I had no doubt that I didn't think we would lose the game. Right. I thought worst case scenario we'll get a draw because Chelsea set up. I was surprised that they played Lukaku. I thought they'll play then maybe
play a false nine with Havertz or something.
Yeah, because I think that'll give us more. But to win 0 in the way we play with almost 60% possession, more shots on goal. They had one shot on target. I mean, 13 points clear of the European champions. That's doff my cap to them. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So
Pep the goat, man. Pep the goat.
Okay, let's talk about what we want to talk about today. Let's talk about this striker situation. Do we need a striker, guys? Seriously?
Yes.
Why? What? So
yeah,
we need a striker. We've gone 2 seasons with a false line system, blowing up the league. If we get a striker, doesn't that take away from the system we played? I'm playing devil's advocate here. Let's talk about, do we need a striker?
For me, yes.
I can tell you why. We need a striker simply because we need another level of threat when we're in the attacking. And that level of threat is aerial. We don't have an aerial threat
The
when we're
last
in the
time we had
attacking.
that was Eden Dzeko.
My man Adam, I like Adam a lot.
Mm.
Edin Dzeko was the last person that provided that. So
Actually, no, sorry, not Eden Dzeko. It was Negredo as well. He was the last striker
Negredo
that
was
we had
also
that
good,
was
but he wasn't as good as
over
Dzeko
six
though.
foot.
Mm.
You're right, Adam, but he wasn't as good as Jekyll. Jekyll was our
Yeah.
man where we knew if we were in the attacking, you cross that. Right now, when we whip the ball in, we don't typically go for aerial balls. We're going for balls that defenders are afraid to deal with, and our attackers can tap it in. But if we
Yeah.
have an aerial threat, and that's why the guys we're looking for, they're like 6'3", 6'2", they're tall, because I think Pep knows that. If you provide that additional level of threat in the attacking,
Game over.
you'll be unstoppable.
Michael
So
and Adam.
we do that.
So were there moments in the game yesterday when balls were coming left and right crossing? You're like, oh man, nobody was there. There was one moment when I think it was like, oh, if we had a number 9, you know, did that happen? Did you think about
Twice.
All right. Oh, Adam, you go first. Adam, you go first.
Yeah, for me, there were two moments: the Phil Foden one and the Cancelo one. If say we had a striker like a Dusan Vlahovic or a Haaland, that would have possibly went inside the goal. That would have been a goal.
Yeah.
All right. For me now, when I said the team need a striker, I just don't mean like a guy like what Lukaku did yesterday. We want a serial goal scorer, a threat in the box. Okay, and for me, I'm gonna break it down from 2 seasons ago to now, just to paint my perspective. All right. People know everybody's saying we don't need a striker because we're scoring goals, we're getting good results, we're in a good moment, and whatever. Okay. And then people factor in, but the stat says this and the stat says that. Okay, we got a guy in Rodri, Bernardo, or whoever playing that, or Gundogan, whoever playing those roles, provide an engine for us. Okay, that's not always going to be stats where Bernardo can chip in a goal or assist, but his stats is not going to be a lot of clean sheets or 20 goals or 30 assists. No, but he do his role. Now, if you notice the team last season, lack of goals, and I'm going to bring in Raheem Sterling now. Raheem Sterling plays a major goal threat for us because his stats tell you Raheem Sterling for a winger provides a lot of goals and assists. And what I'm going to bring in now is when Raheem Sterling was out of form last season, and if you can, and it's evident and it's factual that our goal went down, and that's facts. And so what I'm saying now, he plays a key role to the team, providing goals and assists and all of that. And if he was out of form like last season and it's showing in the team, that means we're gonna want somebody to also fill that gap. You know what I mean? Because Peppers get the best out of him going forward, providing goals, getting assists. We need a serial threat. Like what Andy said, we need that goal threat. We need that serial killer. We need that person that if one person falls off, we have that threat going forward, can also get goals. And what I want to also provide, what I also want to say is when Kevin De Bruyne playing with a striker, he get a lot more assists.
These are facts, man. You're speaking facts, bro. You are speaking facts. I just asked the question because it's gone through my mind. We know now that there are 3 or 4 potential strikers that are available.
Exactly.
We know that Mbappe is probably going to go to Real Madrid. Probably going to go to Real Madrid. Salah is out of contract soon, but likely will stay at Liverpool.
Yeah.
We know that there's talk about Erling Haaland. We'll talk about him in a minute. We know Dusan Vlahovic is a serial striker right now, performing a fantastic job in Serie A. We also know that this Felix is not happy in Atletico Madrid, and he has this false 9 system that he can play. Those are the 3 that we know about. We know about Harry Kane. We know Harry Kane wants to come to City, has made no bones about the fact that he wants to come to City, but he's being shot down by Daniel Levy. And I kind of feel sorry for the guy in a way because
I feel sorry for
imagine if he had made look at Jack Grealish, for example, Ade. Jack Grealish 6 months ago was at Aston Villa, had no clue, had no hope of winning the Premier League. None. Right? Guy comes in, probably played 10, 12 games, scored 1 or 2 goals. He's probably likely going to win the Premier League this season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker is going to win his 4th Premier League, all things being equal, since leaving Tottenham, and his 12th trophy, I believe. And Harry has won nothing, and he's 29.
Yeah, I feel bad for Harry, man. I think he did everything possible for him to leave. I think he put too much faith in their ownership letting him go, which is really not his fault. You know, you have some kind of verbal agreement with somebody. It doesn't mean anything if it's not contractual. So he really did try to leave. He would have been fantastic for our team because his game, the way he can finish in the box and his instincts are Aguero-like, and he brings that aerial threat. If Aguero was an aerial threat, Aguero would be the greatest striker the EPL has ever known. And I'm still not sure if he isn't. So, but so I think, you know, it's one of those things where I don't know, but you know, anyways, I think we have a good option. There's a lot of people. I think you'll get into the conversation later of who we're gonna pick or who you guys think we're gonna pick. But I think you know we definitely need a striker. I agree with Mike. We need a striker like yesterday. I don't care how good we're playing right now. We need a striker.
Oh yeah.
So let's go through each of them. Let's go through it. So I have something I'm going to share on the screen so people can see some analysis from the Athletic. I'm going to share.
Oh, because I got all the stats ready right here, written down. Ready.
Okay, cool. So let's Mike, why don't you do Vlahovic? What you have about Vlahovic, right? And I know you talked about Vlahovic a lot. Why don't you do Vlahovic, and then when you're done with that, I'll show his some numbers from the Athletic, which I'll share what they've analyzed. If he were in the Premier League, how he would do. So go ahead, Mike. You go first.
All right. For me, all these strikers are available, and we know how City do business. And the reason I don't think City would sell Haaland, one is because the fee for his agent is ridiculous, and the other is the fee for his dad is ridiculous. That's totally off the board. And I think personally, City won't get involved in that. I think they're gonna talk. And if they can get the price down, okay. But if not, I think that's going to drive City away and going to push City to other options. And the reason I like Vlahovic is he producing numbers, and I'm looking at his stats. His stats is ridiculous. All right. Really good for his age and all of that. But his personality, City always like a guy who bring quality personality to the team. And I think that's what he has over all of them. All right. He has a personality for me similar to Rodri. Okay. He's a cool guy, humble guy. He a quality player, and I think Pep can get the best out of him. And for me, he's my number one option based on everything and how I know Manchester City do business. I think City would choose him over all of them.
You know what I want to add to that as well.
Right.
You know, I want to add to what Mikey said. What Mikey said is actually true. With what Mikey said is that if it's the same thing with Pogba. With Pogba, Mino Raiola's always doing every year and year out. He's always putting like a rumor out. Oh, Pogba wants to leave. Pogba this, Pogba this. And I get what Mike is saying is that if Haaland came, year in and year out, you'll probably hear rumors of him. Yeah, he wants to leave or this, that. But as Dusan Vlahovic, he'll be happy with what he is unless something bad is wrong.
You know, Mike, I think you raised a really, really good point there, which we often forget, which is it's not just about being a superstar within, even Messi in the Barcelona team. I mean, you had Villa, you had Pedro. Nobody was really like a superstar. They were all like guys who were kind of humble and work ethic was hard. Xavi was not somebody who was like a superstar. Neither was Iniesta. They were kind of cool, humble. Busquets, cool, humble. You know, Walker be kind of guys. There was no the superstar that they had at Barcelona, which was what's the guy that went to Inter Milan and went to United? What's his name again? Zlatan.
Alexis Sanchez.
Zlatan.
Pep kicked him out. Same with Deco. Same with the Brazilian guy, the guy who was dribbling a lot, number 10, before Messi came along. Ronaldinho, right? Big characters, flashy. Pep, boom, 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 all gone. And replace them with guys who are cool-headed, working hard, mobile, moldable.
And to me, that's the personality Haaland has. Okay? I tell everybody, Haaland remind me of a young Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Okay? To me, that's Zlatan Ibrahimovic's personality when he was younger. I mean, even though he's less talkative than Zlatan, less outspoken than Zlatan, but the personality is similar to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The guy is an excellent and a lethal finisher. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think the club gonna sign.
But when we talk about this stuff, though, we're talking based on what we know the media says of him, because none of us know him personally. You have to. You're only going by what the media is saying and what
definitely.
because he doesn't talk. I mean, he talks after interviews, and you can see his frustration when they lose the game. But everything else is hearsay. So I never give stock to hearsay, because there's a lot of hearsay about City players too. About this player is doing this, and so we can only. I know what a manager is able to do with a player. So if I know what I have. I know what Pep Guardiola is. So if I know what Pep Guardiola can do with the player and able to influence a player to see what he sees, I believe it doesn't matter if we get if that's the criteria. It doesn't matter if we get a Haaland or Dusan, because Pep is the manager. If it was a manager, say like Ranić from United, or some weak manager, I would be afraid. I'd be like, you know what? Haaland might overshadow my manager. Haaland's not overshadowing Pep. It's not going to happen. You would have to listen to what he's saying, because you know he's a winner. He has done it multiple times. So the respect factor is there. So even though I like Dusan, but I would definitely say if we have a chance to get Haaland or Dusan, you got to also look at the marketing. The marketability. We always think football, but if you think about the marketability, Haaland brings you a global star. He's like a shining bright star. Go ahead. I don't want to eat into whatever you want to.
So what I want to do, Mike, is I want to go to the numbers I have for Dusan. It's really interesting. I want to share with you guys and see what. Let me share my screen real quick, and then let me know when you can see my screen. And I'll share. Hold on a sec. Let me share. That's Harry Kane. This is Dusan right here. Let me share this. So let me know when you can see it. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yeah.
So this is from The Athletic. Now, The Athletic is a media company that I enjoy a lot of their articles, but some of them I don't. Right, some of them are Liverpool, but they're unbiased ones I really enjoy, and they have some really, really good analysis. So they took Dusan Vlahovic this year from 21 to 22, and they said, okay, he's for Fiorentina. He's played 1,600, about 1,600 minutes. He's 21 years old, and they look at him in terms of the Premier League. So you can see that adjusted for the Premier League. And look at this chart around his strengths. So look at he's strongest in his defensive intensity, which means that he's not only able to score goals in the attacking, but he also works hard in the defensive side as well. So you look here at defending intensity 86%, right? Defending impact 41, which is that he works hard. He may not be a very good defender, but he works his ass off in terms of trying to close the ball down, try to win the ball back to help his team, right?
It's a bit like Gabriel Jesus.
And he scored goals.
Exactly. Aerial duels, he's about 50%, he's about half and half. Disrupting opposition moves is very low. But if you compare that to the intensity, which is that he doesn't care whether he actually gets the ball from the opposition.
Or not.
But he's pressing, whether he gets it or not. Kind of like Jesus, but more efficient.
Yep.
Right?
That's why I'm telling you, this the guy. Statistically, this the guy City looking for.
So look, let's look at the other side now. Look at this possession side, right? Ball retention ability, 16%. Link-up play, 14%. Carry and dribble volume, not bad, 40%. Progressive passing, 50%. What that tells me is that this guy, he's not really a dribbler. Doesn't really like to hold the ball much. He likes to finish. He likes to run. He likes to press. Whether the press succeeds or not, he just wants to hunt the ball down. And when he gets the ball in the box, the blue side, right, he tries to win the ball and score a goal. Shot volume, 88. Receptions in the opposition box, right, which is that when there's a press on and they receive the ball, because he converts 80% of the time, he converts.
Yep, and I'm looking at his stats for this season. He played 20 games in Syria, just Syria. Scored 16 goals and 2 assists.
So I mean, this guy is 21 years old, and the scope for increase is massive. And he's a worker bee. He works hard in the defensive phase. His possession and his link-up play is not as strong, but he can finish in the opposition box.
Exactly.
Right? Now, the only weakness about his XG from shot creation, which is that the goals he's expected to actually score from what he creates is not as strong, but he's young. He's 21. You expect that from a 21-year-old, right? That's what happens with the 21-year-old. A 21-year-old doesn't have the finishing skills of Ronaldo. But that will grow under a better coach in a better team.
Mm-hmm.
So there's room for growth. So this is, I found this, the Athletic, and I looked at it like, wow, this is, I think they're adjusting this this is really, really, really good. So the work ethic defensively is there, his reception in the opposition. I mean, he finds space and time in the opposition box to get the shot off, right? And he shoots a lot, shot volume 88, right? His issue is that how do I make sure I'm converting the chances I get in the opposition box into real goals? And even though Mikey has all those goals, he could have more goals if he has a better XG. That's what they're saying.
Man. If this boy play with Kevin De Bruyne and Cancelo, oh Jesus!
So I mean, Adam, what do you, I mean, I don't want to take a screen off. What do you guys think about this? I mean, does this make sense? How do you feel when you see these numbers?
It makes a lot of sense. But what I've got to also say with what Mike was saying is that don't be surprised where, say, if City don't end up getting Haaland, it's like, look at a good example is look at Koulibaly. Yeah, you had everything about Koulibaly this, and from nowhere Diaz.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So don't be surprised if you end up seeing City deciding, you know what, let's just go for Dusan Vlahovic. And with me personally, I wouldn't mind. I'll be happy with either of the two.
Yeah. So
I think.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say that I wouldn't like. So it's not to say that it doesn't matter to me if we get Dusan Vlahovic or we get Haaland. Like I really don't care. I know the manager I have. I'm the player is fine. I don't know how to get across what I'm trying to say, but look at a player like Lukaku. Lukaku was fantastic with Inter Milan. He was doing that against Inter Milan defense. He was destroying them, scoring goals. Like every time he got the ball, he was a goal. The system they played at Inter Milan suits him. And the way Conte used him suits him. And that's why he was able to be successful in Inter Milan. He was also playing against arguably weaker defense in Italy. So the fact that he was able to be that outstanding in Italy was great. He came to the Premier League. He's playing under a new manager. There's a different system. And all of a sudden, it's not the same Lukaku. So the fact that we're taking what he's doing, Dusan or Haaland, whatever, and we're transposing it onto Premier League, it's great in theory. Theory is always good. When you have the practicality, when you bring the player and say, okay, now you're going up against Awani, Mings, and all these brewers from the lower league, and they kick your legs, and then you're like, oh man, this is not the Italian league anymore. I'm in the Premier League. It's a different ball game. The manager makes the difference. So it doesn't matter if it's a Haaland or a Dusan. It doesn't matter from a marketing standpoint for the team. We're talking about football. You also got to think about the business side. They are salivating over a Haaland. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much money they will make? What?
And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't think they're interested in the marketing sales of each.
You are kidding me.
I'm gonna put it to you why I think that it's not, because City doesn't rely on jersey sales to lift the profit of the club. They're not like Barcelona or the Real Madrid.
Marketing isn't just
signing. And they had the chance to sign Messi and didn't. And Messi
already has a brand. It's not necessarily about this.
I guarantee you this. If City were to sign Haaland, you will see some way or some video of his father, and then like they'll put a montage of his father and then him, and somehow that's what I get. What are they saying when it comes to marketing?
I understand that.
It's not just jersey. You're selling the whole thing.
You will see the way that they will milk it. It's absolute. You see.
Adam, we'll come to Haaland in a minute. We'll come to Haaland in a minute. I just want to share one more comparison, guys, about Kane's numbers. Right, this is why they wanted Kane. I just found this interesting. Check this out.
Ridiculous stats. This boy's stat is ridiculous.
Check Harry Kane.
Oh my God.
Well, you will
this boy's stat is ridiculous.
This is Harry Kane, right? Harry Kane, again, like defensive intensity, not as much as Vlahovic, but again, that's That's Italian Serie A, not the Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to say to Andy. That's what I wanted to say to Andy. You see, Vlahovic
but check this out. Look at his progressive passing. We know he's good at that. We know that he drops deep and he swings the ball out, right?
And he got loads of assists.
Yeah. We know he's shot ball. He has a lot of shots, right? His XG is also better than Vlahovic, right? Shot creation is about the same, but the defensive side is a little weaker than even Vlahovic because Vlahovic is younger. It's interesting, right? Go ahead, guys.
All right. Since Harry Kane introduction in the Premier League in 2014-15 season, there's no player that scored more goals in the Premier League than him. Not Aguero, not Jamie Vardy, not Mohamed Salah. There's no player since his introduction. So you're going to look at that and think this boy's stat is ridiculous when it comes to the Premier League. He's an absolute monster in front of the goal. And people tell me, oh, he get injured and he do this. Aguero gets injured too, and he still got a good stats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the boy is lethal in front of goal. And even though he's 29, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's 29 and we can get a good deal, good price, I still don't see why we shouldn't go for him. And people be like, oh, he's old. I mean, Fergie did it. I went and get Van Persie. And what happened?
Yeah, I agree with Mike 100% on that as well. If we have a chance to get Harry Kane for like a $50 million deal, I will jump on that, buddy. He'll give you a good solid 4 years. I'm good with that.
Hell yeah.
So I don't mind. All these people are like, oh, he's too old. That doesn't have nothing to do with me. Pep's not going to be there forever. You think Pep's going to be there for the next 10 years with Haaland? No. So I'm good with Harry Kane.
Adam, didn't Kane say this summer, I'm going to commit to Tottenham? I'll be there for this summer. Didn't he mention something about that when at the end of the whole saga?
There was some rumors going around that he's possibly going to sign a contract extension. And I also get what Mikey is saying about injury. What I've realized about him, I've looked at his stats when he comes back from injury. They've literally, after when he came back from an injury, they literally just chucked him in straight away and played 90 minutes for like what? And then the game after he played 80 minutes. And a man who's came back from a long-term injury, you're telling me you chuck him in straight away for 90 minutes? Because I guarantee if that had been in City, he would have not played that 90 minutes. He would probably possibly have played, but maybe the last 20 minutes or the last 30 minutes of a game and ease him in. But at the Tottenham, he's been mismanaged. That's what it is.
He's a star player, and he wants to play. He don't want 50 minutes. He don't want 70 minutes. He want to play the whole game.
No, but I get that, Michael. Listen, he also has to put blame on himself. He can't also rely on the doctors. Listen, he's got to understand that he's not a machine. His body, he has to look after his body too as well, like Ronaldo and other players. Listen, if he's come back from a long-term injury, you got to say to the doctors, listen, I'm not able to play for the full term, 90 minutes.
But you got to understand, you don't know how he feels. What if he feel good? Like some players recover different. Like some players, you got to ease them in, while some can come back from the deadline date and just start the next game and have no issues. You know, some people body work different. But for Harry Kane, not every player going to play every game. Harry Kane's stats in the Premier League is ridiculous. The boy scored ridiculous goals.
I like Harry Kane a lot.
Harry Kane with Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh man,
maximum. What would you pay for him?
Right now,
at this point,
I would pay nothing. 45, 50 million max.
50 max. 50 mil.
50 mil max. And that's just because what Levy did last summer. That's it.
50 mil max.
And I'll take him tomorrow.
Take him or leave him. Take it or leave him, Levy.
It's a shame because if this was Germany, let's assume this was Germany, right? Mm-hmm. In Germany, the media in Germany will make sure Harry Kane gets to Man City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very true.
Because they know it's in the interest of the nation of Germany to make sure Harry Kane is in a winning team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But in England, they know they hate City so much, right? That they don't want Kane anywhere near City because they know if Kane went to City, it's game over for the league. Unfortunately, it's game over for the league already. So Harry coming to City would have even been the icing on the cake to take us to the next level, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's weird that I feel sorry for the guy, man. Seriously. Kyle
me too.
Walker has won 12 trophies since he left Spurs.
No, but I've also got an argument. Listen, I understand. Look, I feel sorry for Harry Kane, but in some sense, I also put blame on his brother. Listen,
Mhm.
his brother is not an experienced agent. Listen, if that had been, say, a George Mendes or a Amina Raiola, but even though we give them stake, yeah, I guarantee that the contract extension that Harry Kane signed, yeah, if it had been those two, yeah, they would have put some clause or something, yeah, in that contract where it states that if he does not get like Champions League football or top four football, yeah, he can leave for a certain amount. But the inexperience of his brother, yeah, it got him nowhere. That's where I feel like, in some sense, he also
But
has to put blame
Adam,
on his brother.
I mean, Adam, you don't even need Mina Raiola. All you need is Jack Grealish's agent.
Yeah,
You don't need Mina
but
Raiola.
the thing is, all right, hear me, Adam. Hear me, Adam. Here's another point I have. I don't think I don't think his brother is that bad. I think City is the issue. Okay?
How?
Because I think if it was any other club with that money, they would have sold.
Yeah.
It's not, but
I
Michael,
just
it's not
think
City though, Michael.
City,
Michael,
they don't
Michael,
want to
it's
sell
not
him
City.
to us.
I'll
it
tell you
wasn't
what,
City.
yes, I agree with you,
Tottenham.
Michael. I agree with you 100%. It's not about.
Hell yeah.
It's about the fact that Daniel Levy will not sell Harry Kane, his prize jewel, to Man City.
Man
This
City.
is the same Daniel Levy that's fighting Khaldoon for a board seat at UEFA. He ain't selling Harry Kane to City.
Yeah, he didn't want to sell Harry Kane to
It's
City.
City. It's City. If it
It's
was
politics.
anybody, if it was Newcastle, they would have sold to Newcastle.
Yeah.
They're just not selling to City. That's the problem.
Absolutely.
That's the
He
problem.
does, and plus he doesn't want to feel like the player can dictate where he wants to go. That
Yeah.
really pissed him off more than anything
Mhm.
else. The fact that Harry Kane kept talking about, "Oh, I want to play with Kevin De Bruyne." If he never said that, there was a chance he could have been there. But he said that, and then Levy was like, "No way, you're not the boss. I'm the." Levy is like what Pep is to City. He says how it's going to be. You're not gonna overrule him, and the board is gonna back him. So that's why that happened.
So let's talk about our boy. Let's talk about our boy Haaland, the situation right now. So right now, and let me share this real quick just to give summary. So back in November, Patrick and I did an analysis, and actually Ade was there too. We talked about Haaland in November. We said that Dortmund have said in the rumor mill that they don't want to sell this guy for the release clause.
Okay.
They're trying to create. We said they're trying to create an auction before May to get Haaland sold for more money, even if it means loaning him back. Dortmund went as far as saying we're willing to allow whoever comes with a bid now to spread the money over time to pay chunks and not have to pay the £64 million in May, because they're going to lose money, because they know that Haaland is worth at least 120 million. It's 21, right? And so let's try to create an auction now. So the other day, after the game that Haaland played, Haaland went on, they asked him a question, and Jagafiotto asked him a question in his native tongue about the game. He said, I'm frustrated because Dortmund are trying to get me to make a decision. I just want to play football, I just want to play, but now I have to make a decision. And then today in the news, Dortmund came out and said, we're not trying to put pressure on him, but we're going to have to make a decision about Haaland very, very soon.
Yeah. Which
tells me that they do not want to sell him for that 64 million or whatever they release clause. They want to make money from him. So right now, so it's a time for somebody, right, to get in the game and start talking. I believe that City are already talking to these people. I think that January 24th, the club is smart. The club are not stupid. They're probably talking to him.
I agree.
For me to City is extremely strong. The only real competitor we have, in my opinion, and Ade talked about this, is Real Madrid.
But Carl, I've got to say something about Real Madrid. Yeah, for me, I don't see how they can facilitate this move, knowing that Gareth Bale is on what? Himself is on 300 and something thousand.
Who?
600,000.
No, 300 around there. And Eden Hazard, 600,000. And you've got Eden Hazard. You've got Eden Hazard who's on 300,000.
Yeah.
And you've got other players on who themselves have high wages, and then you got including Mbappe if he goes there. Yeah. Even though it's a free, it's still gonna cost him. And he's gonna be maybe on now, and at PSG, Haaland's on Mbappe's on 300,000 at PSG, yeah, and then you telling me Haaland on 500,000 or whatever what he wants. I don't see how Real Madrid could facilitate that. The only way they could facilitate it, I've always said, is if La Liga bend over and allow it. That's the only way I could see Real Madrid being.
No, that's one perspective, but you got to understand. Remember, City did a revamp of the team. I think Bale gonna leave in the summer. I think Hazard is gonna leave in the summer, and I think a lot of other midfielders they have gonna leave. All right, because that's gonna free up a lot of space. Okay, but I don't think Haaland and Mbappe gonna be in the same team. And if Haaland choose Real Madrid today, if Haaland choose Real Madrid on the 24th of January and decide that's where he want to go, then Mbappe free in the summer is not going to Real Madrid. He gonna have to choose somewhere else. And if Mbappe,
go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead. Haaland's current salary, Haaland's current salary at Dortmund is £132,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
If City were to triple his salary, we're still within the range of under 400, which is below what Kevin De Bruyne earns.
Yep.
So there is space. The money for Haaland is there. Let's not kid ourselves. So this story about City don't have the money is there. In fact, our analysis that we did in November showed that we end up saving money, like 10 to 12 million pounds more money by going for Haaland with the agent fees, with the dad fees, with the salary, with everything, with the transfer fees, paying 100 million pounds for. We still end up saving money, right, with Haaland over Harry Kane. The money is there. Yeah.
Okay, so the way I've been looking at this is a bit different from the way everybody else has been looking at it. I'm thinking, what does City have to do to be able to be in the running to get Haaland? Does Real Madrid, from a footballing standpoint, do they need Haaland? First of all, you would have to get rid of an iconic striker who's playing at the top of his game, Benzema, to be able to fit Haaland in. You have to get rid of Benzema. To do that in the Spanish press is going to be very, very difficult. To say, yes, Benzema, you're playing extremely well and you're still at the top level, but we got to let you go. It's going to be very difficult to do that. Then you also got to think, Vinicius Jr. is probably top 5 best players in the world right now. How do you get rid of him and fit Mbappe in there? So they have a couple of issues before they can fit both. So I'm kind of with Mike on this. If you're trying to fit Mbappe and Haaland into your team, you got to explain why you're getting rid of one of the best players in the world right now, Vinicius Jr., and one of the best strikers in the world. I think that's what makes Haaland difficult for Real Madrid now that I think about it. They can fit Mbappe in there and trying to kind of maneuver him and Vinicius Jr. You can do that, but fitting those two in that team to get rid of that's difficult.
Impossible.
Let's go over to Bayern. Bayern have the same issue. A world-class striker still at the top of his game. How are you going to push that guy out to fit Haaland in? It's too difficult. No matter what you try to sell to the press, they're not going to buy it. That Lewandowski has somehow fallen off. You have to create some narrative that he doesn't want to be there, which is difficult to do. So that's those two teams. Who else? He's not going to Barcelona. Barcelona is just not playing well enough for him to go there. So it leaves PSG. It leaves PSG and United. But Ronaldo has to leave United for you to entice Haaland. If we start hearing news of Ronaldo possibly leaving United, that only means they're trying to get Haaland. That's the only reason that will happen. Which means City is probably...
One more thing with that. One more thing. I know what it's going to be.
Go ahead.
United have to be in the Champions League as well.
And correct. That's true. They got a couple of things going against them. So that means City is probably top 2 teams for him right now, because if PSG lose Mbappe, they are going to pursue Haaland with the strength of gods to get him on the team.
I saw this rumor that apparently that PSG are looking at Lukaku. I don't know why.
He would fit in their system. I see it.
They will lose
that league. He would play
but
good in that
apparently
league.
Also the owner of Chelsea is also willing to sell him.
Well, he put himself in that hole in right now. He making the fans unhappy, making the board unhappy. I mean, I guess
footballing wise, it's only a couple of teams that can really get Haaland. I think City is definitely up there, and that's why they're probably having serious conversation with him. But City's fallback plan is legit. If they can't get Haaland, they still get a chance to go at Dusan. So I'm hearing this thing about Arsenal. I don't know how true that is with Dusan, but when if you take football out of it, because we only tend to think about football, living in London is a whole lot better than living in rainy Manchester City. So no disrespect to Manchester City, but if you were to think of where you wanted to live, you would want to live in London. It's a big team. It's a very great city. So that's appealing. So I won't really shut down these rumors that he's trying to go to Arsenal because it's
and
possible.
that's why I talk about the personality too. Because his personality to me is more a Manchester vibe.
Okay.
I had this debate
Versus
with
Haaland.
Igal.
You know what I mean?
What were you saying, Adam?
No, I was saying I had this debate with Igal, this Arsenal fan. He was saying that Arsenal will get Dusan Vlahovic in January. But I said to him, listen, he's not him and his agent, they know that there's other clubs who are better options than Arsenal.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go for the first option. They would rather wait until the summer and look at their other options. They widen their reach, then just go straight away in January.
Yeah.
Adam, I mean, many of us think like fans, but you're thinking like an agent. That's how you should think, right? Why would I put my clients now when I can wait till summertime when he has better leverage?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Manchester City, he has Tottenham, he has Liverpool options, he has so many options. So here's a point here that true. It says Haaland's father said he would never send his son to United after. So I did a lot of research on this, guys, right, over the past week, and his father completely hates Man United.
I don't blame him.
I actually saw the tackle that Roy Keane did on this guy, and it was premeditated. In fact, it was almost a criminal case. The guy wanted to actually find a criminal case against United. He literally, because what happened was that they played a game before where I think Haaland's father had kicked Roy Keane, right, and stood over him, right. So the next thing that they played, right, Roy Keane basically just leapt up, two-footed him right on the kneecap, and ended his career. Basically, his injured his knee, and stood over there and said, "There you go, you MF," and they set him a red card off. They gave him a red card. So there's real issue within. So I don't think he's ever going to United. I don't think so. The guy is quoted as saying that United the way they operated was probably one of the worst clubs in the world. I'll find the quote. I'm paraphrasing. I'll find it. And so he ain't going to United. There's no way he's going to United. If Solskjaer couldn't get him from RB Leipzig to United back then, and Solskjaer was his manager at Molde, he ain't going to United. He ain't going because he and Solskjaer worked together in Molde in Norway when he was a kid before he went to RB Leipzig. And Solskjaer wanted to bring him to United when he came to United. The guy said no. He's going to Dortmund. So, but look. This saga is going to continue on and on and on. But I just think about this guy. Let's look at his numbers. Let me not talk. Let's just look at numbers, guys. Let's share the screen. Let's just look at his numbers and just not talk. I think let's look at Erling Haaland. Check this out. Look at this. I'm looking at the blue side. I mean, this is crazy. This is insane. If you were a machine, right, right, to score goals, right, these are the ingredients you put in. I don't care. Defensively, disrupt the opposition. Don't really care. Defensive intensity, no, I don't really care about that stuff. Defense impact, yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. Aerial duels, not so much. Link up play, very, very good link up play. Ball retention is average. Doesn't dribble much. Doesn't care about dribbling. Progressive passing, not so much, right? But the blue side. Look at his XG from shot creation, 94% XG. What that means is that if he has 10 chances to score a goal, right, he's scoring 9.9 over 10, 9.4 over 10. Sterling is about XG of probably 35, 40. Aguero is probably around 70, 75, right? All our front three or front four right now in the first nine are probably around maybe 35. That's why we have so many chances created, but we don't score. Yeah. This guy, out of 10 chances, he gives you 9.4. That's animalistic. That's a robot.
Oh, yeah. A serial killer.
Check out the XG from ball progression, which means that when he gets the ball in the middle of the park and is going towards goal, what are the chances that he scores a goal? 97%.
I actually think if he came to the Premier League,
you know those Kevin passes. Kevin will pass the ball to someone and they're running and some. This guy will not. Basically, when he's running towards the goal, out of 10 times that there's a chance, he scores. right? His receptions in the opposition box, which is his ability to position himself to receive the ball from the midfield 99% of the time, almost 100% in 780 minutes of play. It's insane.
I actually think he's the one player that could actually end up breaking Alan Shearer's record and also Aguero's record in the shortest period. I'm adamant this man, if he was to come, he will break Aguero's record as the highest goal scorer in the club and Alan Shearer's record with the shortest time. With the way that he scored.
Yeah, I mean, Adam. So the argument around he's not a City kind of player. I don't agree. Check this out, right? Link up play volume. Look at that, 74%, which tells me he gets involved in the play. He gets involved in the build-up play. What do? Our build-up play, false nine or not false nine, is one of the best in the world, probably one of the best apart from Bayern Munich, right? He can build up link-up play, and he's 21, which means this number can actually increase. But when he links up and his movement, the blue side, the right side, XG creation, XG ball progression, reception in the box, shot volume are off the scale. I mean, it's an animal. I mean, it's a robot.
I agree with Charlie saying. I agree with what Charlie just said in the comments.
What's Charlie saying?
You were saying that Haaland won't stay for 10 years. He will only stay for a minimum of 4 to 5 years.
That's probably true. It depends on who. That's all you need him for. I mean, Pep's not going to be there forever. People think Pep's 6 years now. Pep's leaving soon.
Yeah,
that's the reason I say ain't no problem with us getting Harry Kane.
Me too. I don't have a problem with no striker we get.
Yeah, here's the argument, right? So people talk about, he's not going to be. Nobody wants for 10 years. What do you want? Want another Fernandinho for 10 years? No, we don't. You don't need that.
No.
Let him come to City, right? Win Ballon d'Ors, win Champions League, win Premier Leagues. When he's 26 years old, send him to Real Madrid for 150, 180.
Yeah,
easy.
You make your money back.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you created a monster, and you have this money you're raking back, and you can rebuild the squad again because people will be old.
Yep.
I've got a left-field choice.
We fans, Adam, need to think about the business side as well. We can't just have this.
Patrick is being funny. He said he wanted Danny Ings.
What's up with you?
It's your bedtime, Patrick.
I can't see. What did he say?
Patrick
said, I really wanted Danny Ings.
Patrick, is your bedtime.
I know where Patrick is saying because Patrick is saying that because a lot of our fan base were like, Danny Ings, you can correct chances. Look, for where City are going right now with the numbers, with the money, with the fans globally, Danny Ings ain't it, man. That's why Pep said, hell, I'm getting Danny Ings. I'll go with the false nine instead. What they need is an icon, which is why they went for Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane is not just goals. Harry Kane is England's captain. Harry Kane is an icon of English football. And we know that if Harry Kane comes in, not only is his stock value going to increase because of the way he plays, but his own credibility with the England squad as a Premier League winner goes through the roof.
Exactly.
I've got a left-field choice. I don't know whether Mikey and Ade will be happy, but how about Felix, Joao Felix?
Well, Mikey won't be happy. Boy, Joao Felix, my player. I like the boy. Huh? But statistically, the other guys are above him. But the boy is an absolute gem of a player. The boy is a Portuguese gem.
Yeah, I like him, boy.
He's just,
I don't know.
He haven't had the manager to get the best out of him.
I need a physical. If we're going to get a center forward, get a physical center forward. Don't do the whole Felix. Felix still kind of, he's a very technical player and everything, but he's not strong. Premier League, you need to be strong. You can't be a little softy. They'll push you away. All those defenders that are like 6 foot and like 200 and some pounds, they'll toss you away. I need somebody strong like that. That's why we're talking about these players: Haaland, Harry Kane, Dusan, like big guy. You're not bullying them. Yeah, I like players like that.
But the thing is, all right. Let's say we don't get Haaland and we don't get Kane and we get Vlahovic. He gonna cost like $60 million. All right.
Yeah.
We still have enough money, and we gotta put into perspective too. We don't know this summer who's gonna want to leave, who's gonna want a new project, who's gonna want something fresh. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Mahrez might leave because he's gonna be like 32. You never know. Jesus can leave. He probably won't want to go to the Italian league.
Ronaldinho's contract expires
You know
as
what I
well at the
mean?
end of
But
the season.
I'm talking about the attacking players. So the options are there. Felix probably gonna cost another 60 million. And even if we buy Vlahovic and Felix, that two fresh attacking options coming in the club to offer us different dynamic going forward. So I'm not really against the boy. I think the boy is a gem of a player. I think if he comes under Pep, yeah, he doesn't have the strength, but he possesses the ability where he can weave through the field and don't need that strength to. That boy glide through the Premier League under Pep, man. That boy.
Mike, I watched Joao Felix, and we're gonna get the pleasure. Hopefully, this guy plays him against United. I'm looking forward to that game, United versus Atletico Madrid. I'm looking forward to it. I watched him at Benfica, Felix. When Sonny was leaving 3 years ago, I said, let's go get this guy. I said, Felix, wait, don't go to Spain. Come to City. Forget about Sonny goes, you come. Because his movement on and off the ball, he may not score goals, but his movement, and he hasn't really been coaching that way.
No,
it's actually gone down since joining Atletico.
That's why I was saying my argument. That was my argument too. The reason is that he's in a system that does not suit him as a player. I feel like if you put him in a system where it suits him as a player and where he's able to thrive as a player, then you see the best of him. But now he's under a system that's like basically holding him back.
Oh yeah, based on the way City plays now, like I think I talked about this. Yes, I think I was talking about this pertaining for John Stones. The system Manchester City plays get the best out of John Stones. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The system Manchester City plays will get the best out of Joao Felix.
Yeah.
And it's guaranteed. Okay. So let's say we don't get none of these clinical strikers, and Felix is the only one available. I don't see the problem with we going for him because the way we play in the far line system and switching across to the left wing or the right wing, and the boy have the center forward ability, and he doesn't lose the ball. This boy will be lethal under Pep Guardiola. I'm not asking anybody. The boy clean.
Well, Mike, I'm drawing a correlate between you and Adi because I think what I'm hearing from both of you and Adam as well is. Heck, you can bring Romelu Lukaku to the City under Guardiola, and he will do well.
Okay, I think you finally where I'm at now. I think that's where I've been this whole time, and I think you finally got there. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. Just bring a striker that is above decent and physical. That's all all the Haaland, Felix, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's Pep Guardiola.
Oh yeah,
that's what it comes down to. He's going to tell this player, this is how I want you to operate as the center forward for this team. That's all he needs to do. Even Mario Balotelli.
I agree.
I mean, he's a little arrogant, but look, we always clown Mario Balotelli. Mario Balotelli was an excellent finisher, buddy. He was a little nuts.
Yeah,
I think somebody like Pep can control that guy. But even him, it doesn't really matter who we get. So all these guys we're mentioning are all great. I think they'll all do well with City.
So I mean, we've talked about Vlahovic, we've talked about Felix, we've talked about Haaland. We did Patrick and I did a little show, and I was what must we do to get Haaland? I just want to share this with the guys who are online so we can, and I'll share my screen real quick. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
All right. So we said this is November or December. We said forget about Kane. Kane ain't happening because of Danilo, right? It ain't happening, right? We said make Dortmund an offer they can't refuse, right? Give them a transfer fee of 9 million, right? Which is about almost 50% over the current release clause for Haaland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that's a 70% premium increase on his release clause, right? Make them an offer they can't refuse, right? That plus his wages plus the agent fee still is less than Harry Kane. In fact, the cost of Haaland over 5 years, right, is £9 million less than Harry Kane. And after 5 years, you can sell off Haaland to Real Madrid.
And make that money.
You make money back, right? Here's the human side, right? City must leverage all of our assets and relations. We know that his dad was a captain for Man City. His dad was a captain for our club.
Yeah.
His dad played for our club. In fact, the Sean Gota and Haaland's dad are buddies. They exchange text messages. Now, some
You know
people
what?
say, okay, the agent
Also,
Mino Raiola and Pep. The reality is that we have Philippe Sandler, who's also Mino Raiola's prodigy. We work with him already. There's a spot
when
for Haaland available. Make him the number 9. It's iconic. It's romantic. Following
you
the
know when you
season.
relationship, I feel like the Puma deal is going to become very instrumental because Puma, yeah, because Haaland is also not what was he he's one of his deals with, I don't know who he was with, has expired, and
Yeah.
the executive of Puma in Norway is good friends with Haaland's dad, so our relationship could also become very good as well, so we can use that to our advantage. If Puma are
I
gonna
didn't think about that.
if Puma are gonna sign him, we can use that to our advantage. So that's what I was saying last time when I posted it in the WhatsApp group about how Puma are trying to sign him, and the executive of Puma in Norway is very good friends with the dad and Mino Raiola. So we could use it in some way to help us. So if say the Puma pay like a chunk of his wages, we're not gonna City don't have to pay all of the wages. Like say Puma pays half of it or something or small percentage, and other sponsors chip in basically for the fee.
Mm.
I mean, the
Because
reality is right
at
now,
the end of the
Holland.
day,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it benefits the sponsors like Puma. Because
Oh,
you get
massive. Huge.
Haaland. How many jerseys you will sell, and
Oh,
like what
huge.
is
I mean,
ridiculous. So in some sense, is good for yourself and the club. You have both. Is good for both of your interests.
I
Interest.
mean, Ade and Michael, think about this. Think about it's July 1, 2022, right? Hypothetically, Erling Haaland is at Man City, and they're going on a US tour to do that preseason. Do you know how many stadiums will be filled up for this guy to see him?
I'm traveling from Texas. I'm going to travel from Texas anywhere to go.
I mean, or he goes to, he's unveiled at Manchester at the Etihad Stadium, the preseason where all the families come into the Academy Stadium, and he's coming home, right? Coming home to Manchester. Boy is wearing the shirt. The boy was following Aguero then in Aguero moments when he was like 12 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
If we don't go for him, it's because there are issues around something we don't know.
I mean, I don't think. See, the thing is, I would hope fans don't look at it that way. If we don't get Haaland, Haaland is wanted by pretty much every team right now. So it's a crapshoot. It's about maybe 3 teams that can possibly get him, and they all have a 33% chance of getting him. So it's not a failure if we don't get him. It's just that he's a very sought after player, and ultimately the player makes the decision when you're a star player like that on where you want to go. The draw for Madrid isn't that they play better. Nobody plays better football than City, save maybe give or take maybe Bayern. But the draw for him isn't about who plays the football. It's where I can become a global icon. Madrid offers that to you on a platter because Madrid, the name is already recognized worldwide. So if he goes to Madrid, it's not necessarily say, oh, Madrid is a better team than City. It's just Madrid is glitter, is glitz, it's fancy, it's Spain, and that's what draws you to the Spanish league, and that's why Barcelona, with the history that they have, and Real Madrid, that's why players like going there, even though they're terrible. I mean, Fernando Torres went there, and they're a terrible team. So it's like
Claude.
it's like people love those clubs because of the history they have and because of where they're going to be and the recognition they get. So if we lose out on Haaland, I'm not worried about it.
The hope I have is with his father, and what's what I mean by that. Alfie Haaland has always made the right decisions for his son. What I mean by that, he's always made the right steps towards the growth of his son. Yeah. From Mulder to RB Salzburg, right? Small little leaps to Dortmund. Could have gone to Man United. Could have gone to Liverpool, and then now he's going somewhere else. He's 21 years old. What's the best developmental place for him to grow? Under which coach? Under which system can he grow to become a 26-year-old ready-made superstar like Ronaldo was when he went to Man United back in the day? There's only one name for me right now, and it's Man City.
Yeah. No, bro.
you have the players, you have the coach, you have the money. It's a footballing decision. It's a no-brainer. The question, to your point, Ade, is it a glitz or is it footballing? And that's something we can't control.
You can't control that.
Yeah. So anyway, Michael, I thought we flogged this to death. I've really enjoyed this discussion with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this has really been an amazing discussion about not just the game yesterday, but also January signings. Dortmund is talking, guys. Dortmund want to sell this guy and seal this deal, I believe, in January.
ASAP.
The next 2 weeks is going to be massive. There's no mistake. Dortmund don't come out in the media and talk when they don't have something happening. And we're at January 15th. They know there's 2 weeks left in the window to see the deal, or else they may end up losing 60, 50, 80 million on this guy.
Yeah.
Because
for me,
they're out of the Champions League. There's no Champions League money.
Yeah.
For me, so those City fans that say, City would never pay that amount of money. Wasn't it City were willing to pay 140 million for a guy that's on crutches in Harry Kane?
Pay the money.
Hey, listen, listen. If City are willing to pay the money, if the player is right for them, if they see that the player is right for them, they will pay the money.
Yep.
And if they don't see that the player will fit the team, then they're not paying the money. Why do you think they walked away from Alexis Sanchez, all of these big name players? They knew that these players were not fit for the
style.
And and Haaland,
go ahead, Adam. Finish up.
No, go ahead.
No, I just think that, I mean, if I'm a movie maker, I'm a script writer, this is the perfect story. And I know the City Digital team, I know that they're really, I mean, City Digital team are light years ahead of competition. I mean, these guys are good. They probably have reading. If we're going after him, they've started to package all the stories and the clips from his father, the story.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying with his to Ade, that they will put like a picture of his dad and everything, a picture of him in a City shirt when he was young and everything. And like, welcome back home, all of this. You will just see the marketing, they will market the hell out of it.
I agree, Adam.
I remember when Pep was coming to City. I remember when there was chatter about it 5 or 6 years ago. I remember I saw a Facebook post I made, and I said, "Oh my goodness, Pep is going to go to Chelsea," because the whole idea was, City, you can't get Guardiola. There's no way you can get Guardiola. There's no way they can come to Guardiola. Even though Ferran was there, Soriano was there, there's no way they can come to Guardiola. The club pulled it off. City will never pay more than 60 million on a player, 100 million for Jack Grealish. Aguero will never come to see. He's going to go to Real Madrid because that's where he's supposed to go. They paid and they got him. De Bruyne's supposed to go to Bayern Munich. No, he will never come to City. They got De Bruyne. Here's an icon right now. I really believe that they have to go for this guy. And if they're serious, make an offer they can't refuse, they'll get him. Blow Madrid out of the water with money.
Now, if they sign him, I'm probably going to fly for the unveiling at the Etihad. You know what I mean? Moments like this, you don't miss these.
For me, I actually think if City went to Dortmund and said, "Listen here, banged 110 million on the table, 120 on the table," and said to them, "Listen, here's the money right in front of them," Dortmund will break your hands and take that money and go. You telling me if you put 110 or 120 million in front of them, knowing very well, they could end up losing them in the summer for 65 million, they will break both of your arms and take the money.
Well, Adam, because they have the Champions League. They lost revenue from Champions League. And listen, don't underestimate the value of the Champions League revenue. The reason why City got the best financial numbers this year was only for one reason only. Match day revenue for the Champions League. That's it. So I don't know. Anyway, we spent an hour plus on this discussion. We've flogged the game yesterday. We flogged Haaland. We flogged Vlahovic. We looked at numbers. I mean, whatever we get, incredible. At the end of the day, to Adi and Mike's point, if we get Tinkerbell as a striker, and put her into that Guardiola squad, right? And she has the attributes, she will do well. I mean, 13 points clear of European champions by January, guys. without a striker number 9. It's incredible.
You know what?
So,
I'm gonna actually go back. I actually think we have a chance of winning the Champions League this year. It may sound crazy, but I actually think we could win it this year.
We had a chance last year, man. What are you talking about?
But I think we have a bigger chance to win it this year.
We had the biggest chance last year. We were in the finals, Adam.
Final.
No, what I'm saying is because of the teams that are left, I actually think Chelsea will get kicked out. Yeah, if they end up like the next round, I actually think that.
The thing about Chelsea is, Adam, Chelsea are a very good cup team. I mean, I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that actually the facts. They are designed to be that 90 minutes one-off game. Look at the way they killed off Tottenham in the first leg, right? 2 goals, sit back, protect. Very difficult to break down, right? So they're now the only thing about this year, there's no away goals. So you can score 2 away goals if you like. If you lose 3-2 at home, you're out, or 3-0 at home, you're out. So that may change. That's why Liverpool is a threat, because Liverpool will deliver goals. Bayern Munich are a threat because they will deliver goals. City are a threat because they will deliver goals. That's why but even PSG are a threat because they will deliver goals. No away goals. So those 4 clubs, in my opinion, in the Champions League are dangerous this year because there are no away goals. And we'll do a whole, in the next 2 weeks, a whole Champions League round of 16 review. We'll do that. We'll call you guys on. We'll look at each game. We'll talk about it, strategy, and what we think is going to happen. But I don't want to take you too much of your time, guys. Michael, it's been fantastic. Any last words from you, Michael, before you run?
Nah, I was just gonna be like, when is the next live? What are we gonna talk about next? Yeah, we need to talk about the Fernandinho replacement, like who we are looking at, like who.
I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Why don't you do some research? Let's do a show next week on Fernandinho replacement. Let me know what time. Yeah. We'll do that one, and the left back too, if we need one as well. Maybe we can do those.
Left back, yeah.
And Fernandinho. Okay.
You know, for me, who my left back would be? My left back, the one that I want badly, is Theo Hernandez. If we get him, for me, I will be happy.
Yeah, but where are we gonna? The conversation we have to have is where does he play?
That's the problem.
Left back.
No, but what do you do with Cancelo? What do you?
But that's the thing. That's what Carl was talking about earlier. You can only play certain amount of minutes.
Okay.
Right. You know what I mean? Cancelo. Listen, Cancelo rested all summer. He never went to the Euros, and right now he's the most rest player in our starting 11, and he's playing the best. Whatever.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Ball. And next season he's gonna be exhausted. Plus the World Cup coming up. Come on.
All right.
We got the time to rest.
Are there any last words from you before we run, man?
No, we had a good conversation. I really loved the conversation we had today. It was great.
Absolutely. Adam, you said you left back with Theo. I love Theo. So we'll do this. So we'll do a show next week about Fernandinho replacement. We'll look at who's available. I'll try and get us some kind of numbers from the Athletic. Maybe we can show some things around like interceptions, passing, all that kind of stuff, and we'll have a shorter discussion about that. But until next time. This has been Pitch Points with collaboration with True City Fan TV. We've had a great time talking about so much today. And until next time, stay safe, take care, and up the Blues.